so long. Um, you know, things are just, they are what they are. I will say a quick side note. Sometimes, you guys know well, maybe you don't know. If you don't know and you haven't watched any of my vlogs, I'm a stay at home mom. So my husband works, I stay at home, I take care of the house, I take care of our daughter, and, all that. That's my job. I have a job, it's to be a stay at home mom. The job that my husband works is like an infrastructure and environmental stuff. So at times it can be very chaotic because he's a emergency responder, and he has all that stuff they have to do at the drop of a hat, and so things can change at any moment. A lot of the times when something is off or whatever, it's because of that. It affects me in a way because I have anxiety. I have a lot of other things that, affect me with sudden changes and unpredictability and instability and stuff like that. And so a lot of times if like there's a huge gap, or unless I'm sick or something, which I don't get sick that often, thankfully, fingers crossed, but a lot of times if you don't see me for a little while, or like my mood has really changed or something, it's generally something to do with that, because it really does affect me quite a bit. It affects our entire family. It affects the way that we can function, because if he has to do something last minute, then that puts a strain on what we have to do in order to make sure that he is where he needs to be, or, so that we're set up, whatever. So I don't really want to get too much into it, obviously, because that is, our personal life and stuff, and that's not really what this channel is about. But just in case you were ever curious, that is why, like, it is what it is. This is the sacrifice that we make so that I can be at home with my daughter. But, it's just, life is just, you know what I mean? It's like, just because we made this choice doesn't necessarily mean that. Okay, I had a little interruption there. You might be able to hear a truck outside. I don't know what's going on. Listen, whatever. So if ever, you're seeing me and I'm like a little bit down or whatever, most of the time it has to do with something like that, because it's exhausting. It's like there's no real home work life balance. They're very disrespectful in that regard. It sucks, and there's really nothing we can do about it, unfortunately, because, meetings have been had, talks have been talked, and it's just like, they don't, it's, I feel like it's the same wherever you go. They tell you, oh yeah, we care, we care, we care, but they don't. They don't care, and they won't care until it affects them. So, it is what it is. That's what we're dealing with. I feel like our situation is a little bit more extreme than other people's situation. I know I personally have never had to deal with something like this when I was in the workforce, and I had a lot of stupid jobs. I had a lot of, for lack of a better word, assholes and people who were, in upper management or any management position that had no business being there. I feel like no matter where you go, you're going to run into those people, and there's always going to be somebody who ruins it. But I never had to deal with stuff like this. Like, when you start bringing things up, usually it gets resolved, or there's some sort of resolution. Like, you may not be completely happy with what's going on, but there's something, you know what I mean? Like, there's some kind of improvement. Whereas this is just kind of like a lot of talk and zero action. It is what it is. Like I said, there's really not much we can do about it right now other than just kind of deal with it. So that's what's going on. Anyway, I think I'm gonna insert the clip from yesterday, where, so we had an appointment yesterday, and then we were on the way home, and it was just a little fun, cute thing. Like, my husband and I do stupid things all the time. Like, I don't know how else to explain that. But yeah, so our odometer in the car now, or at the time of the clip, said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'll probably have already seen that, because I just thought it was funny. Since I've seen you guys last, I finished up my Christmas reads. I ended up not getting to, I think, 2 or 3 of the books I wanted to read. Yeah, it was 3 of them, because I didn't read in the holidays, so this is Christmas, and I ended up not doing my reread always in December. I'll just save it for later. If I'm still feeling the holiday vibes and I have some time because there's some books I want to get read for August and some books I want to get read in September. So we'll just see if I can fit them in, because I also want to read my new read that I got from one of my girls on Instagram, 12 Plates of Christmas or something like that. That sounds really interesting. Still waiting on Amazon to process my return so that I can order 'Tis the Season for Revenge. Hopefully it's sometime this month, because I sent it off almost 2 weeks ago now. It is what it is. We just had like a storm. People are calling it a hurricane. It was a lot of rain and a lot of wind. I'm sorry, I've lived in Florida for a very long time, and people who live in Florida for a very long time do not count anything below Category 4 as something to worry about. Now, this can be a little bit dicey, but listen, if it's not a Category 4, I'm not even really paying attention. Like, we always make sure when hurricane season comes, by the time, it's here, we always make sure we have our extra water, our extra toilet paper, our extra staples, just in case. Because, again, veteran Florida. We're not one of those people who wait until the last minute. I don't like the chaos, and I don't like dealing with the people, because people get crazy. They act like they don't live in Florida, like they don't know what the deal is. Every year, come June 1st, whatever. And I know people in the rest of the country, they see a storm coming and they freak out. Calm down. The freaking out is the bad part. Everything's gonna be fine. You just need to make sure you have your supplies, make sure you're ready. But all that to say, we had a storm. There was raining, there was flooding. The state is underwater. What did you expect? But yeah, so it's been storming. We had a break on Tuesday. There was like no rain at all, but it was super windy. Then yesterday it rained pretty much the entire day. And today we're looking up. It's looking like it's going to be sunny. It is pretty late already. It's after 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, this is a super late update. Anyway, now that I've caught you up on everything but books, let's talk about the books I've read. So I did finish Kiss Her Once for Me. I talk about it in my July wrap-up, which I believe is already live by the time. I'm sure it'll already be live by the time you see this, because I'm quite a few videos ahead at this point. I have also just finished, Tuesday I finished A Viscount Who Loved Me. 5 stars. That was freaking awesome. I already started on the 3rd book. I just couldn't help myself, okay? And I know this one is one that people don't really like that much, because it's kind of like a Cinderella retelling. At least that's what I've heard about it. And just from what I've listened to already, it's sounding very Ever After. Not so much like I know Ever After is a Cinderella retelling as well. But if I'm comparing it to Ever After and Cinderella, like the Disney movie, it's more on the Ever After side. I don't know. I think it's cute so far. I'm enjoying it. Hating, the stepmom and the one stepsister. Like, I'm not... Like, no. I always feel that way. I think Cinderella retellings... I've never read one that I can think of, but, like, Ever After, and there's a few other Cinderella retelling movies that I've seen, and I always love them, even though... Like, I just hate most of the people involved so much. Like, Ever After is one of my favorite movies. I love it so much. And I just hate freaking the stepmom and Marguerite. Oh my god. Ugh, I hate Marguerite so much. Like, and that time when she punches her and she goes over the bed flying. My little heart lived, like, because girl, same. I would have took those lashings to give her that freaking punch. So far, it's actually really good. I'm really pleased with the Bridgerton series. I am praying that I will get an email from Illumicrate before they sell out so that I can get the reprint, because I would really love to have that collection of books. Like, I thought it was cute before, and then now that I'm reading it and I actually like the books, sign me up. Like, thankfully, I put my name on the wait list already, and they've already sent out 2 rounds of emails, and I have not been on them. So please, Illumicrate, please, please, please. Also, there's, like, some... Like, I feel like August is going to be a very expensive book month for me, because on the 13th, not only is Illumicrate releasing some TJ Klune special editions, So I know they're coming out with House in the Cerulean Sea, and then I think Under the Whispering Door are going to be reprints of their special editions. And then I think In the Lives of Puppets and the House in the Cerulean Sea, those prequel for that one that they're coming out with soon, that one I think is also going to be in this sale. And then Owl Crate is doing their Six of Crows duology special box, so I'm like, yeah. And then I just saw that Wisteria, the Fairy Loot Wisteria went on sale, and I need to grab that. I need to grab Queen Bee. I need to grab Hearts That Cut. There's one other book that I wanted to get, and I can't think of it right now. So it's looking like it's going to be a little expensive. I also just subscribed to another book box because, as you guys know, August is going to be my last month with Owl Crate, and unfortunately, the Illumicrate's Afterlight box isn't going to be available in the US until September. Like right now, yeah, you can get it shipped from the UK, but I had signed up for the wait list for the UK box. And then I looked at the shipping, and the shipping was almost as much as the box, and I was like, nope, I'm not getting it. It's not worth it to me because I've heard mixed reviews about the box. They're going to be having it available to ship from the US fulfillment center starting in September, but I think Afterlight, is it a monthly box? I don't remember. But anyway, I am on the wait list for it, so we'll see if that comes through. In the meantime, I'm getting rid of Owl Crate, so I do want to test out some other boxes, and this one is like a lesser known. It's like Moon Box or something. I'll update you guys when it comes in. We'll see how that goes. And so today I'm just kind of chilling. I've started reading The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I didn't think I was going to tab this one or annotate it or anything, but I have been annotating it. There's like I've been annotating it a lot, honestly. I don't know, there's like some things that like I kind of want to keep in the back of my mind when I'm trying to put it together and find out what's going on. And already I'm hooked on this book, and I do need to finish it. I think I have to finish it today because the Libby audiobook has to go back today. So we need to work on that, but I'm also just kind of chilling, just kind of resetting after a crazy weekend, after a crazy couple of days of this week, and just kind of getting stuff together. I'm also busting out our Halloween and fall decor. Like, you guys have been seeing the last couple of vlogs that we still had like spring and stuff up there. I just ended up not getting any summer decor. We don't really have like any real summer decor, and I kind of hate summer, so that's probably a reason why. I'm over summer. I'm over the heat. I'm over it. I want to have the cozy vibes, and I want to have the cozy vibes in my house. So we're kicking summer out. We're done with the summer, and let's start getting in the fall. Probably, I don't know, maybe I'll show you guys some of our fall decor if that's something you guys are interested in. But I don't know, to me it's kind of boring. I usually, I decorate the whole house for fall and winter. Obviously Halloween and Christmas, those are the two, my two favorite holidays. I do decorate pretty much our whole living room and outside. And usually for the seasons and different holidays, I try to, because we have a window over here right above our couch, and I do little scenes and stuff in there. I decorate our little coffee table. And then now that we have our entertainment center, because our coffee table is smaller than the one we used to have now, and so I'm gonna lose some. I doubt I'm gonna really even be able to decorate it that much. But we have our entertainment center now, so probably gonna decorate that. I might clear off one of the shelves and do a little village for Christmas time, because it's only a month. That kind of stuff, I only do it in December, and then we clear that away, and whatever wintry stuff can stay out until the spring. But aside from that, so yeah, I think a little bit over 50 pages in. I have tabbed out every 50 pages just to help myself, reach those goals and stuff. And I've got a ways to go still in this book. So I want to at least get to the halfway point before I have to return the audiobook. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it today or not. I am reading it a little bit slower because I'm annotating, and I didn't realize how much I was going to be annotating in this book. So, yeah, that was pretty unexpected. But that's all I have for now. I'm not sure if I'm going to update you guys later. It's kind of late in the day, so maybe not, but maybe yes. You never know. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow with an update.
Later.
So I was actually just about to get back into The House Across the Lake because I'm almost halfway through this. I've got about 200 pages left. And it occurred to me that I should probably update you guys because I think I've read at least 3 books since I last updated on here. It's been a while. Life has been lifing. I've been able to still have videos coming out every Monday, so I haven't really felt the pressure to vlog as much, so I've kind of been slacking a little bit. I'm sorry. But I am trying to get back on track for the rest of the month. I did get a new TBR cart, which is awesome. I've got maybe one shelf that's completely full, and that is for 2 months. So my top shelf, I will show you guys in a little bit, but my top shelf is my current month's TBR and some books that I'm hoping to get to. My second shelf is September, October, and then my third shelf is just kind of like, I have a book sleeve down there and a bookmark, and it's just kind of like a random shelf right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to put on that. I might start putting like my brand new books that I got in. Something I didn't show you guys was I did finally receive my July Illumicrate box, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed. The book is beautiful, at least the sprayed edges or the stenciled edges in the book jacket. I do not love the hardcover, so that kind of sucks. I'm also not sure what I'm gonna think about this book. The book for the July box was The Phoenix Keeper, so I don't know. I mean, it sounds kind of interesting, but at the same time, I don't know if it's for me. So, but I am gonna give it a try. I think in my last update, I told you that I know I told you I was reading this. I have read a few books that are not even on my TBR, like We Used to Live Here. I just finished that. What a crazy book. Oh my gosh, that book was so crazy. Like, what even is my life now? I feel like it messed me up. Like, oh my gosh, that was 5-star book for me, easy 5-star. It was so good. If you don't know what this book is about, it's basically about a couple who they renovate and flip houses, and they buy this one house, and the couple is Eve and Charlie. Charlie is the main one, who's like kind of, I would say, like, she makes more of the decisions because Eve is a big time people pleaser and she's kind of indecisive, and so she doesn't make as many of the decisions in their business. So while Eve is at home one day, a man and his family arrive at their home and tell her that, he grew up there, he used to live in this house, and if he could come and show his family around. And it's very weird, it's bizarre. I've never heard of this. Maybe this is a thing that people do, but I don't know. This has never been something that I've even thought to do. Like, in my life, yeah, sure, we've driven by places where I used to live. It's like, oh, I used to live there. But it's not like, let me come in your house and show I don't know, that's just weird to me. So yeah, she's very apprehensive about the whole situation. She does not want to let them in, but she ends up letting them come in the house. One thing leads to another. The daughter ends up hiding, and now there's a storm and they can't leave. And it just goes downhill from there. Like I would say in the beginning, it's not quite so. The book isn't really a fast-paced book to begin with. But in the beginning, and it's not like it's slow, the pacing is actually great for this book because at no point did I find myself wanting to put this book down, even when I had to. I really wanted to know what was going to happen. And then intermittently, between these different chapters of the book, there's like mixed media elements into it because we're following like interviews, Reddit posts and threads and forums and articles and stuff like that. So I think that helps it along. There is this really weird noise that they use to demarcate the mixed media element from the actual story, and it's very jarring like every time that happens, but I get it, it's for effect. I don't want to give too much away. I'll just say that if you enjoy thrillers, if you like books that leave you asking a lot of questions, that don't answer a lot of things, that are very like, what the fuck did I just read? Like, in a good way, in like almost bending reality. Like, could this be real? You know what I mean? I know it's not based on a true story or anything like that. But this was so well done. Like I said, great pacing, great story. The ending, and there's like little nuggets, throughout the book that's a callback to something else. And there is something that's carried through the entirety of the story. And in the end, it is part of the ending. And it's just like, okay, but do they know? You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, this book was so good. I am very excited to see the adaptation done for this book. I hope it doesn't fall through. I hope it's a sure thing because I'm excited to. I could totally see this as a movie. Like 100%. And that's the other thing that's done so well about this book is it's like I could so easily visualize what was going on. It was just this book was great. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Like I said, I gave it 5 stars. In the meantime, I have also read Paradise Rot. I just feel like I wasted my time with that book. I think it was a 6 hour listen, and why? 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 Why do we need to talk about pee so much? Why do we need to find so many descriptive words about pee? Like, I don't even, like, there isn't even a whole lot to talk about. It's just a weird ass book. I also read Comfort Me with Apples. This was an interesting book because, so I've heard a lot of different people on BookTube talk about it, and I had no idea what this book was about. I did not read the synopsis, nothing. And the people who talk about it, like, they don't talk much about it, at least the people that I've seen, because it is such a short book. So, I mean, I guess it would be easy to give things away. I didn't know where this book was going until the very, very end. Like, I want to say the last, because I listened to it as well. It's just so much easier for me to listen to the books. I don't always have the time to physically read something, or I also don't have like a Kindle or an iPad or anything. So trying to read stuff on my phone, I've tried, it hurts my eyes. So I can, easily access the library with my Libby app, and I can listen to things. It's, I don't always have the chance to go to our local library. Unfortunately, they're only open Monday through Friday. So, it's kind of hard, and it's not always a priority for me to physically go to the library and pick up a book, especially one that I'm probably not going to have the time to read before the, 2 weeks is up. So, again, like I said, I listened to this one, and I would say probably until I was about the last 30 minutes. I had no, I mean, like, I kind of had thoughts. I had ideas, but they weren't like, I don't know, like I kind of had an idea I was going in one direction, and then it was confirmed, like I confirmed it once I got towards the end of the book. And then it was interesting because the way the book is written, it's like once you get to the end of the book, everything else just kind of clicks and makes sense. At least that was my experience. Um, it was good. Like I didn't see anything wrong with it. I think I gave it a 3 or 4 star. I didn't see anything wrong with it. It was very short, but for how short it was done well. And it was just it was a quick read. It was, I don't know, it was just good. Oh, I've also read 2 Bridgerton books. I have read An Offer from a Gentleman and The Viscount Who Loved Me. I don't know if I talked about The Viscount Who Loved Me on here. I feel like I did in my last update, but I'm not sure. Just read it in August. I didn't read it in July, so I don't think I've talked about it yet. But honestly, it's the second book in the Bridgerton series. This seems to be everyone's favorite. And on one hand, I can see why. Like, it was a beautiful story. I am really enjoying the books. Granted, I've only seen season 1 of the Netflix adaptation, but just comparing season 1 on Netflix and the first book, I liked the first book way more, and I was really gutted that I had watched the season before I got to read all the books, because I feel like that would have been so much better had I just read the books first. But going forward, I'm not watching the seasons. I haven't watched anything after the first season, even though I've read the next 2 books. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit, because I think the book that because I'm reading Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, which is the 4th book. I think that one is coming out soon or is part of the 3rd series. I'm not entirely sure. So I don't want to be spoiled. So I'm just gonna go ahead and power through this one, and maybe when I get to book 5, I'll go ahead and start watching this series again. But I am loving these books. They're a little bit lengthy, I would say, but like especially for me, for what I normally read, but they're so sweet and so cute. Like for the Viscount Who Loved Me, I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the back and forth between Kate and Anthony. I really enjoyed their relationship. I enjoyed the build up to it. It was so cute. It was such a cute book. And then An Offer from a Gentleman, I think, is my favorite book, because, at least so far, because I have found that I really do enjoy Cinderella retellings. And that's what An Offer from a Gentleman is. It is a Cinderella retelling, but even more so, it gave me huge Ever After vibes. If you guys have ever seen Ever After with Drew Barrymore, this was that movie in a book almost completely. It was just, it was so good. It was such a good book. Like, and then the drama in the end. And also, something that I don't hear too many people talk about is, so there's the epilogue, but then for the audiobooks that I'm listening to, there's the second epilogue, which apparently was only available like in a bound book. Like its own book had all the different epilogues, the different second epilogues. And now with the audiobooks that I'm reading, it's included after the first epilogue. Listen, I'm here for it. Okay, I'm just eating up these books. Like I said, I'm already started on book 4, and I'm hoping to get through that by the end of the month or early next month. And then I'm probably going to take a break for a little while, because there's only 4 more books left in the series. And it'll just depend on what kind of time I have going through the rest of the year, because I think my book reading is going to get slimmer, and I'm probably going to have to cut that out of my rotation for a little bit, just because with the holidays, it's usually pretty busy. I don't normally have a ton of time to do extra things. We'll just have to play that by ear. But yeah, I think that's all the books I've read since I last spoke to you. Going forward, I'm about to finish up with the House Across the Lake, and then I'm hoping to get into Happy Place right after that. So I'm super excited for the rest of this month. It is about to storm outside, and I am currently cooking up dinner. This clip has been 16 minutes long, so I'm gonna need to edit that down. But I'll see you guys in the next update. This vlog. It is Wednesday. I know this is kind of a like all over the place, not very cohesive vlog, but here we are. I did finally finish The House Across the Lake. I feel like I've been reading this forever, but it's just because I put like it was really good when I was reading it, but then I would put it down to read other things. So I did enjoy my time with this book. I thought it was great. I gave it 4 stars. I did tab it a good bit. I got quite a bit of annotations. There was a lot of things that I was like kind of keeping track of. One of the things I was keeping track of was how much Casey was drinking. I really liked where we went with that, and how in the end she does end up getting help and going to AA and stuff. I don't think that's really a spoiler because it's not that big of a deal. Like, the reason behind her drinking is more of a big deal than the actual drinking. But yeah, that was something that pretty early on I wanted to keep track of, because she was drinking quite a lot throughout the entirety of the book. It isn't until like the very end that she really gets pulled out of it, and it has a lot to do with what's going on in the story. I'm sure everyone has read this book already, unless you're like me and late to the party, the Riley Sager party, which I'm very glad that this was not as much of a disappointment as Middle of the Night, because oh my god, that was a letdown. That book was such a letdown. So this one was actually really great. If you don't know what the premise of it is, we have Casey, who is, so it doesn't talk about it in the synopsis why she's at her family's lake house, but she is at her family's lake house alone. She recently lost her husband. That is talked about in the synopsis. You know, it just says a recently widowed actress trying to escape a streak of bad press has retreated to the peace and quiet of her family's lake house in Vermont. I'm so sorry if you can hear mowing outside. I do not have any control over that. I wish it would stop because it seems to be a daily occurrence, but it is what it is. Anyway, I guess bad press is if you really want to sum it up in the most simplistic way, yes, bad press is why she's at the lake house, but it's more than that. And then we find out that the drinking, there's more to that. The layers of this story were really good. I expected this to go in a certain direction, and by page 81 I had guessed already one of the things that was going on, but it went in that direction, but it took a different route. And then there was this whole other thing that was happening that I was like, okay, so is this it? And then the way the book starts to end, it kind of makes you think like, oh my gosh, how am I going to talk about this without spoilers? Okay, guys, this next section is going to be spoilers, so fast forward. I will try to put something on the screen. Hopefully I remember in editing to put something on the screen, but this part, I'm going to talk about the book with spoilers. If you've read this book, you know, right? But in the end, when we find out that Len has been possessing Catherine, first of all, I was like, I'm sorry, what? How is this even happening? His spirit was just living in the lake after she murdered him, waiting for someone to what? That caught me off guard. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe it's this, and like the whole thing with Tom wasn't happening. But the whole time we're like, like she's basically talking to Len, discovering where Catherine has been, why she's been missing, and all that. I'm just thinking to myself, wait, okay, but stuff was still happening. Like, Catherine was still telling us that she was unhappy and about how Tom would most likely murder her before they got divorced, and all of these hints. And then there was the thing with the wine glass, and I was just like, it was weird, but it seemed like we were wrapping the book up in a way that wasn't going to be answered and that wasn't happening. Oh boy, was I wrong. And so when we come back to it, and it's like, so she dumps out all her liquor and everything, and then she one last time picks up her binoculars to watch the Royce house, and she sees Catherine about to take a drink, and then she remembers the piece of the wine glass that she had given the detective. Like, what the fuck ever happened with that? And it's like, it's at that moment, it's like, oh shit, wait a minute. And then we get Tom hang up the phone, Casey, because Casey was trying to call Catherine. And it's like, oh, he really was trying to kill her, though. So this is just a fucking coincidence? Like, I mean, I don't know how to feel about that part. I really don't. But I don't know how to feel about the ending, like her killing Tom, and then now we're just wondering, like, is Tom down there? Is Len still down there? Okay, I got interrupted. I had a phone call. I'm not sure where I left off. I don't know how to feel about the ending. I gave it 4 stars. I don't think it was bad by any means. Like I said, it kept my interest while I was reading it. It was just kind of easy to put down. I would say it was easy to put down until I got to about the 200 page mark. And then I found myself just really wanting to read it. I don't know. It was good. Am I going to remember this a while from now? Probably not, but I don't know. I'm not upset that I read it. I don't feel like I wasted my time. So that's always a good thing. So now that I finished that, I am going to be moving on to Happy Place. I'm trying to get through the rest of my TBR for this month. I still have at least 3 more books that I had listed on my TBR that I wanted to get through, and I have 5 other books that I was hoping to read, but could also slip into next month as well. I have already read a few other books for the month that wasn't on my list at all. I just ended up reading them because I can't possibly just stick to my TBR. Always have to read extra books. And then I don't read my TBR books. Anyway, it's a problem. It's a sickness. I know. So Happy Place is next on the list, and I'm excited to get into it. I've heard a lot of people say this is their favorite Emily Henry. I've heard other people say that it's their least favorite Emily Henry. We shall see how I feel about it. I really like the synopsis, and I'm just hoping that this is going to be a winner for me, because I'm not really even in the mood to read a romance. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I want to just read another thriller. But I think I need to take a break from reading thrillers. I don't know. I might read something else that I don't have like a physical copy of. I did like kind of sample Dowry of Blood. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not a big vampire person. I don't know. I think I just got burnt out when they did so much vampire stuff in the early 2000s, and I've never recovered. That's where we are now. I'm going to end this vlog today so I can go ahead and edit it, because I've done nothing to edit this vlog at all. I love that for myself. Thank you so much, past me. I have another video that I need to edit. My July haul. Yeah, it was a July haul. It's almost the end of August, and that video is probably not going to go up until Monday, maybe the next week. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so I'm gonna end this one here. Thanks for hanging out. As always, the book vlogs are seemingly to get more and more chaotic and less like with any kind of structure. I know it's really just been a lot of me sitting in the same spot on the couch, and I apologize, but I don't have a lot of places to read in my house. Or a lot of like, it's a lot, okay? All I have is my phone, and I'm just trying to do things that make me happy. And vlogging books makes me happy, but also is a little bit stressful. Anyway, I will see you guys in my next vlog.